action. So now it's gonna be, I don't consent to that.
You were starting to pop off and get all funny or whatnot, and you weren't even properly recording.
I took a pill. A funny pill done kicked in, dog.
That's funny kicking in, for real.
That's funny kicking in. What they put in the water? I just watched Dave Chappelle's special.
Oh man, bro! If it wasn't for work, that would have been me right now.
You know the beauty of it all. You gave me that speech of, you know, when comics get to a certain level, they become just orators or, you know, great speakers, as opposed and they lose the essence of the funny. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's one.
What were you saying? I was wrong or I was right?
You said Dave Chappelle's managed to maintain being funny whilst also being social conscious.
In the comedy specials, yeah. In the ones where he's talking about getting screwed over by the industry, nah, he was being, that was a bit more.
Well, this is the special, right?
Yeah.
It's nothing like For What It's Worth. It's nothing like, just what I'm saying, where you're like, this nigga killing me right now. It's that guru stage. It's that mastery of it that I can even just talk to y'all and have you interested as well as laughing.
Okay.
But everyone's gonna be like, I didn't really laugh though.
yeah. To be fair, like I'm probably gonna be like that as well, because one of the things I like about Chappelle was that he, you know, even when he was doing like, you know, the bird revelation, he still had them punches. So he was just lightly jabbing, pow, big laugh, blah, blah, blah. And then obviously ties it up all at the end. But when it just gets to the point where, you know, you start to delve down on the laughs because we actually just like hearing you speak, that's fine. That's great. I'd pay to hear Dave Chappelle speak. But like, I don't like that in the comedy category. You know what I'm saying? Like comedy, like the funny has to come first. And that's me. That's somebody who is the biggest Dave Chappelle fan. Like I feel like you have to be able to be objective and say, nah, like don't lose the funny, man. Like that's the superpower right there.
The thing is, he's not lost anything. The nigga is funny. You see what I'm saying? The way he said the way he said sit down and get comfortable is funny. You know, but what happens is, so for instance, if Eddie Murphy comes back and does that kind of style of comedy, we'd be like, nigga, we ain't seen you in 300 years. You could have put a couple jokes in this motherfucker. That's how we would feel, because we haven't seen him in such a while. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? How if he had done it consistently, it's like Michael Jackson. You can't expect Michael Jackson Thriller or Michael Jackson History. It's not the same nigga, even though Michael Jackson History was still a bad motherfucker. No pun intended. But my point is, Michael Jackson on Thriller was on crack. This is in his 20s.
Yeah,
you know,
I get that, but imagine if it now got to the point where Michael didn't want to sing no more. Michael was just doing spoken word on the track.
Yeah, but I was getting to that. I was saying, but Michael got to the point where, hey, on word, if that 50 Dates tour was him saying, oh, by the way, no dance moves, I'm just gonna come out with a chair and we're gonna do sing-alongs to my hits, I will pay to go to that.
Oh yeah, of course you will.
You know, Michael might do a madness in the chair. You know that, right? You know you're gonna make that chair move.
When that chair slide across the stage, you like, Michael be the one to do
that. I knew this nigga had something planned.
I knew it.
And so I feel like that's like how Dave Chappelle is now. It's like I'm Michael Jackson where I'm at now, as opposed to I don't get it twisted. I still feel like if you pull a knife on him, but I can get down and dirty. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Try to flex on him. I can still do but I'm at the point I don't
sure of it.
No guns.
I'm sure of it, but here's the thing. Here's where, you know, a lot of comedians, they actually fall off of this way early, and Dave Chappelle managed to stay on this. You see, what happens when people start to laugh just because you merely show up? Because they love you so much, because they've laughed so much at you previously that you just say good morning or good evening and it's funny, is that some comics start to get lazy with the writing because they know they can get away with anything, right? Chappelle writing actually stayed quite sharp while you can see he was writing. So that's why I'm like, I just really want to see Chappelle with the bars though.
Is that because he fell off?
What, Chappelle fell off?
Yeah. Is that why he came back hungrier? Because he was out the game and he had something to prove. He had to go back on that stool, and he took it seriously. What I'm asking you is, if the Chappelle show had worked out and then it was onto the movies and stuff like that, would we get the specials we saw, the four specials from Netflix? Would we get that?
No, we would not. No.
Okay.
He had to have, and this is the way when we say stuff like God works in mysterious ways, or you know, it is what it is, or everything happens for a reason. It's moments like that that make me really believe that, because I'm like, if you're talking to Chappelle right when he's boarding the flight to South Africa, and you're saying, look, you're gonna come back stronger, you just sound like motivational speaker. But when you see it in the big picture, you get to see the whole thing. You get to see the Netflix deal for 60 million. You know what I'm saying? And then you get to see, then you go, oh yeah, everything happens for a reason. It's really easy. Hindsight is 2020. You see what I'm saying? So, but that's why I do believe that in order for us to see that greatness, he had to dip. He had to make those decisions, because that's what makes him Chappelle, right? He had to make that decision of like being conscientious about his comedy, like who's laughing, how are they laughing, am I going down the road, and being able to check yourself. You know how many times like you see the story about like an entertainer who loses themselves because of they're doing what people like, they're doing what people want, and essentially they get upset with themselves. And
like Jimmy Boy.
Nah.
I'm joking.
Junior has taken so many strays on this podcast.
I'm joking.
Anyway, you know, like the ones that we end up respecting, funnily enough, are the ones who realize that, hold on a second, I'm losing my way, and they turn back. You know that moment where Pryor comes out, he looks at the crowd and he just walks off because he's like, I can't keep becoming more and more like Bill Cosby for you guys to love me. I have to go become Pryor.
That's how I would feel the moment I walk out on Britain's Got Talent stage. That's exactly how I would feel. And I lost it all, yo.
And you have to be you. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's exactly how you need to do it. I feel you on that one, actually. I feel you on that, because you have to be you.
When I walk out there, I know my instincts would be like, so why are you here for me? Because I failed. Let's be honest. This ain't the right path. I done taken the narrow road, man. I'm just. I tried the loans for what's the saying? The narrow, what's the narrow path saying?
You know, when you took the road less traveled. You took
I tried the road less traveled, y'all. It's just too lonely out there, man. I want the broad.
Bro, you might have to pull out your phone and pull out a UCAS application right there on stage. Like, I'm going back to uni. I'm gonna get my degree. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make something of myself.
Yeah, I'm 41, but they say the older you are, the more powerful you can be. This ain't got classes for everybody now. There's niggas in 80 doing their math degree. But the funny thing is, every comic, especially the great ones, they found themselves in a room where they looked around and the guy in front was so drunk that he couldn't even hear the punchlines. And you're just saying to yourself, how did it get here? But you find so much truth in that world, in that wilderness, that you don't even realize what you've been storing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I've had that moment as well. I've had that moment where I'm just like, I didn't have like a dramatic walk off stage, run to Africa moment, but I've definitely had moments where I'm like, hey, cancel all my gigs, man. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, this ain't it. I need to go refocus. And I think that's key. I'm not doing it obviously to try and pose like those guys, but I genuinely like, I relate to that moment where you go, this is not what I got into this for. And that's happened to me a couple of times, but I mean, you know, for them, those ones obviously well publicized. You know, we get a chance to celebrate them because look at the greatness that came out of it. But for some people, you just need to walk off and just go keep your sanity. It doesn't always turn into like a big, like crazy story that we're going to do a documentary on and look at how great they were. No, sometimes like you realize, hold on a second, this ain't me, and you just need to go, and that's fine. And I respect that, even in your small ways, you know.
Louis C.K. said he was about to do a gig in a restaurant, taking that money for where you can get it.
So he just quickly went to jerk off real quick before the show, yeah?
And then he just walked out and he was just like, he just looked at the crowd and he just said, I'm a shit comedian, man. And everybody started laughing. And he just realized that he was just going to be honest from then on.
Nice. I like that.
Like, bro, he just told him, this ain't it, man. Like, I'm performing in a fucking restaurant. Like, what the fuck, man? Start moaning about shit you wanted to moan about. How is Jerry Seinfeld getting Radio Hall? And I can't even. And so, people that hate Jerry Seinfeld are like, yeah, this is funny. And then you just find yourself in that pit of disgust. You find something, and that's, I did the 99 on Saturday.
Okay.
And I was closing. It's so funny because people on the outside, civilians, assume, you're closing, you're closing the show. They don't understand. This is a comedy club, baby. By the time you're closing, they can be fully drunk. And so they're not the audience they might not be the audience you want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I did 6 gigs this weekend, right?
Ooh, come on.
I know, right?
Work rate, yeah.
Friday, banana, that audience, there's no comparing. So I went on cold, like, you work the audience. I like those moments because when you work an audience to a moment where they're like, oh, don't go. You're like, yeah, whatever, bitch, you should be laughing when I came on. You know what I mean? The next night was I was on my shit. And my voice was fucked up that weekend.
Yeah.
And but I was on my shit. I went to Trap Kitchen before, placed a little order.
There's no such thing as placing a little order at Trap Kitchen. You done had the snow crab lobster, you done had the crab legs.
I told them, listen, because I had to go to 99. I said, listen, I'll be back by 9 o'clock to click it up. They're like, cool. Boom, went back, did my show, went back to the Trap Kitchen, as I'm going in there, like 6 man them are going in. I'm older now, innit? Like, I don't know the code of the youths these days, but they look hella threatening. It's not that they look hella threatening, they just look hella top boy, innit? But the problem is with black people, we see that and we clutch up, innit? And we're afraid of ourselves, which is wrong, because I go in there and, they're doing their order and the brother's like, oh, you can go before me, And I was like, oh, no, I've already made an order. And he goes, you're a comedian? I was like, yeah, it's in Fumbi. This is me, it's in blood. And I was just like, man, I thought y'all was going to rub me and shit.
I thought y'all was gonna rob me. I ain't gonna lie, man.
I started getting talk about what's going on, cuz you know how it is, and I'm in the streets, you know how it is. I doing fake bravado.
You know the brothers that come up to you and hug you, but the hug kind of feel like a headlock. You like, I don't know. Are you showing me love right now?
But you just take it off. It's kind of good to see. But yeah, so then I had some good gigs. But this one particularly, they were rowdy in the front, man. The one on Sunday was a car crash. It was one of them all day brunches. Oh, I know I have no business doing these shows. I tell promoters say to me, "Why are you so honest?" I'm like, it's not that I'm honest. It's just I know who I am in it. Your show involves people's crowd surfing and drinking punch all day and getting drunk. I'm not the style for that. Okay, I don't have Sky or cable. I don't have those bars. Oh, wait. EastEnders or Coronation Street? Yeah. Remember Phil? I don't do that.
I used to call that survey comedy. Man, just come out and do the whole, come out with a clipboard. Come out, just want to ask you a few questions if you don't mind, guys. What Simpsons or Family Guy? Hey, you know about Quagmire.
Okay. Wait. Nike or Adidas? Huh? Wait. Mom or dad? Yeah. And so, so I try and explain to them, but they're like, come on, you're a funny guy. Yeah, I know I'm a funny guy, but doesn't mean I just want to be funny anywhere. Yeah. And so so we get there. They've been drinking all day, so they're already rowdy. Cat's hosting. I love Cat. Cat can do these things because that's just how he's built. Yeah. Axel's after me. So I go on, there's no lights on the stage, so they can't see me. The sound is terrible. It sounded like I was hosting a rave. Well, you know my style of comedy, innit? I am laid back as hell. Yeah. Even Axel was teasing me saying, you're not gonna move past the front. And I was like, I'm gonna move, watch. I didn't move past the front. But I just started talking to the front, couple of people I knew were there. They were texting me saying, "Don't worry for me, it's not you. This is just a terrible venue." And I was like, "Oh, I thought this was me."
No, I love people like that. You know, there's always one or two people that know you. They always want to let you know that, like, hey, really, with these lot, man, these lot were messing up, man. I appreciate you. I'm always like, yeah, thanks, man. But next time, laugh out loud.
You know what it is, yeah? I always tell people, like, I'm a big boy in it. Like, I've done this for a while now. I can handle I can handle a dark moment or not being funny. I can handle the crowd that wasn't digging.
But how come those guys always want to come and tell you in private, like it's a secret that they find you funny? Why not just laugh out loud? Even if nobody else is laughing, why not just laugh out loud and enjoy the show?
One thing I learned in this life is this: as much as laughter is contagious, so is awkward silence. Okay, some people were smiling at me, but they weren't gonna laugh because no one else was laughing. We ain't finna start a plague out here.
It's true. Very few people are confident to laugh alone in a room full of people not laughing.
Very rare. That's why when you have a room of 4 people, doesn't matter how funny you are, you're not gonna get the energy of 30 because 4 people are not gonna give you a, oh my God, they're gonna give you a, oh yeah, that's However, as in my experience anyway, if you can get a room of 10 people, right? And it's not too big a room, but they're right close enough. And you can get them laughing and comfortable, but that's work right there. That's how you're ready for because arenas don't capture what real comedy feels like. They don't. You know, that's a money move, which I understand. But you really want that comedy feel. You want that low ceiling, trapped in a closet type vibe. No association with R. Kelly. And a nice little stage.
Yeah.
Boom, you're feeding it. I like it when they're close. I don't know about you.
Yeah, definitely. You have to have a feeling of it's us versus them outside. You need to cultivate that feeling of like we're in on it. We're in on the joke. So we're physically in on it. And everybody else, we are dead. Everybody else is dead to us. You can't have a big window behind the comedian, people walking outside on the pavement. You can't have you can't have any. It's like a casino. You can't really have too many reminders of the outside. To create that environment, the best way is to have it completely insulated from anything going outside and to manage every aspect
Comedy
of what
Store
they
has that. Comedy Store captures that to a T.
So did I tell you about
you walk downstairs in that motherfucker?
Yeah, that's why a lot of comedy clubs were downstairs at the King's Head or upstairs at the Queen's Head or upstairs at blah blah blah.
We spoke about the King's Head the other day to our listeners. It's a comedy club in Crouch End where the person who runs it, you have to call him at Monday at 9 o'clock to get your booking. We were talking about this, like, how is this still possible? And then when you call him, he acts like, why are you calling? You told me to call. I'm calling for an open spot. He goes, this is years ago when I did it. He goes, how long have you been performing? This is me for about 4 or 5 years. He said, how many gigs have you done? I was like, my nigga. You heard of Bashman versus Soca?
You ain't never been on the Dem Boys tour? Dem Boys
Okay. All right. You heard the Sunday show? No? Okay, don't worry. So it's just a weird booking agent. But his club is
going back to Comedy Store though. Have I told you about the time that Don sat me down and told me about the ceiling panels?
No.
Bro.
Did you sit in his lap?
Yeah, it was on my lap. Bro, if that guy says sit down in my lap, bro, back then when I was trying to get on, I must have been like, look, man, just don't touch me nowhere inappropriate. All right, let's just sit down, man. I'm trying to get these weekends, bro. Yeah, just for anyone who doesn't know, getting in at the Comedy Store was like, it was kind of sold to us as like the dream of when you become like accepted as a proper mainstream comedian, proper, good material, good performance, that kind of thing. And also, it was one of the best playing clubs, put it that way. So, and they had a bunch of other gigs as well abroad that they controlled. So getting in with them was like a really big step for you. And I got in with them like the same month I got engaged. And as soon as I got married, I just started doing those gigs. And so it came at a perfect time for me when I needed extra money. Like I all of a sudden I had these gigs. So at that time I was like, this is like my 8 Mile moment, right? So anyway, he sits me down anyway just to tell you about how deep the Comedy Store is set up. So basically, the Comedy Store has like 400 seats in there or something mad like that, but it's all tightly packed together. And there's a stage at the front, and at the back there's a kitchen where you can order food and so on near the bar. Basically, all the noise from the bar was traveling, basically and disturbing the show. So all the clinking plates and blah blah blah, people making orders and so on. He found out that you can get sound absorbent ceiling tiles that absorb the sound so it doesn't bounce out the room and distort the show. He changed the entire ceiling to these sound absorbent ceiling tiles. But the comedians started complaining that it feels weird on stage, like they don't feel like they're doing well. They realized because those ceiling tiles were absorbing all the laughs. So then he went and redid the ceiling again and changed the tiles over the crowd to be ones that bounce sound backwards or back at you, and change the ones over where the kitchen and the bar are to be sound absorbent ones. I think you did all of that for a ceiling, and niggas gonna come on your stage and be like, hey, so which one do you prefer, Britain's Got Talent or The Voice? Like you can't disrespect that. When I heard that, I was like, you have to respect. This guy takes his club seriously. You've got to take the material seriously.
But do you know how much money that clubs make? Of course you take it seriously.
I know, but look, some people make money off their club and whatever, it doesn't matter, screw you. But this guy was like, no, I'm gonna spend this money redoing this ceiling until we get the right acoustics in this place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect that. Like, that's something that means a lot to me. Especially as,
no. You have to understand. Part of being a performer is, it's like if you're Jay-Z, you know, and I tell you, listen, I want to book you for my son's 21st. It's in Camden. It's not even about me being Jay-Z. The sound, it's not going to appreciate what I've put out here. Yeah. So I'm saying I need the right acoustics to get this music across. So even if you had Jay-Z, you know, when you have these rappers out flipping party and they say, yo, spit something for us, cuz you just flow a little quick something, but they're not gonna be like, yo, turn the noise down, y'all. Let me, come on, y'all pay attention now. The streets is watching, Chris is on the block. They're like, yo, just spit some titty verse so we can all get horny. You know? So, so you know, it's the same thing with comedy. It's like, you know, when you're doing new material nights, I don't expect it to be at the Comedy Store. I want it to be at a room where the mic is plugged into his phone and the guy is, you know, got the green and the red socks on, and he's just so happy that you've come. There's 6 people in the room and they don't know what the fuck is going on. That's why I want to do new material. You don't go and blow that room up. You're gonna put good material in this motherfucker. You gonna do that? When the girls came up to me on stage, she was like, "Why didn't you do some of the things I've seen you perform at comedy clubs?" This is me, because they're comedy clubs. This here, shit. You're gonna waste my good china. You know how it is when guests come over from Africa. If there's a guest that you care about, you get the nice place under the bed. Your mom has free stew from 3 weeks ago. When it's that one jatty person, you don't bring out water from the tap. So yeah, so that's why when we approach the Comedy Store, we approach it with that respect, because you know it's a level. But we should come off comedy, because some people say it became a comedy podcast or stand-ups talks.
Oh really? Bro, do you know? Yeah, I mean, I don't mind either way, man. But like, at this point, I just want to say thank you to the people that, you know, sent some really nice words, because like, you know, sometimes you'd be wondering, like, you know, when Fumbi's ill and I'm flipping traveling for work and we're trying to put the pod together. Sometimes I don't know about you folks, but sometimes I'll be doubting, like, why are we even going for this? Like, who even cares? And then someone comes and messages me and be like, nah, man, we're really riding. Like, we need that content. I didn't know I need this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of stuff really gets me. So thank you. Whether we talk about comedy or we talk about Genuine and who else takes L's from you all the time? Chingy. You always disrespected Genuine and Chingy. Whichever one it is, like, the fact that you guys still rock with us, man, that's amazing. How did you do during the social media blackout? WhatsApp was down.
Social media. Twitter was working, so was Snapchat.
Yes.
I was wondering how many delayed big pictures were just like, you know, being held back because the system went down. She be catching him at church. Oh Lord, this nigga. Be mad. What the fuck are you doing? Yo, I sent that 2 days ago. What the fuck? You went home. Man. You went home, so we left it by the door.
Man.
But yeah, you know what? It was actually. I'm not gonna say it was refreshing to not be disturbed by my phone because it didn't make a difference in my life.
Yeah.
But it was just funny. I started updating my status just so when it comes back, I'd have a little rant going on. But yeah, it was just whatever, man. People were panicking. You make stupid jokes. How am I supposed? One girl was like, I was messaging my boyfriend good night. How is he supposed to know? I'm okay. So everyone was like, call him.
Oh man.
Use your fucking brain.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
To be fair, I was thinking something similar, but that's because I didn't really know. I landed in basically. I was actually using WhatsApp in the air. I was using Wi-Fi on the plane as I was flying to Cyprus. Landed in Cyprus.
You like a big boy.
Like a real big boy. Every time I pay for that little flight pass to use Wi-Fi on the plane, I really feel like I'm doing big business.
You know the difference between me and you? I'm the guy on the plane who's reading who's the prick that buys this stupid Wi-Fi shit?
It's me. I wanted to talk to my wife, man. I messaged her. She was busy. I was like, yo, I'm messaging you from the plane, And then anyway, the connectivity went out.
I grew up with tight guys. Like, when you go, like, they're paying for the plane ticket and that's it. You ain't gonna catch you with no extras. They're not interested.
But this is work travel. I'm expensive. You don't know. I needed it for work.
Why do people who are able to expense things? Why do they do it? They always say game recognized game type vibe. Oh, that's just why I got to work.
It's game recognized game. You know me. You know I be expensing it. You know what I'm saying, son? You know what I'm saying? I had to fill out the little expenses form.
And that's on work.
And that's on salary. So I landed in Cyprus and my WhatsApp was working. I thought it was Cyprus. I thought, no, Cyprus done ban WhatsApp. Like, what's going on? This ain't Dubai out here. Like, why are you not moving like this? And then it was only when I realized later on that everywhere was down. I was like, how am I going to let my wife know that I landed safely? I was like, it came to my head, I could call her, but I was like, yo, it'd be £1.50 a minute sometimes, man.
Since Brexit, before you could use your minutes.
But I realized actually you can still use your minutes now, but it's going to cut off soon.
Oh, you can still use your minutes now?
Yeah. I think it's like January next year or something. Each one of these networks, they're yanking that right back, bro. They're not giving out no more.
They miss those roaming charges, don't they?
Yeah, bro. Those roaming charges were disgusting.
It's gonna come up with, we back, bitches. $3.50 for just to see your phone. Damn.
Bro.
They're gonna charge us just to dial.
I ran up a bill of like, I think like £80 one time in America. I almost, and that for me at that time, £80 was like.
Do you know the highest I've run up a bill to?
How much?
500.
No way. 500, bro.
I was going for a breakup. You know what? This is why men don't open up to other men.
I know. I shouldn't have.
The motherfuckers just be laughing and shit.
What was killing me was the idea, like, right after you finish, like, getting over the heartbreak, then the phone bill lands.
The worst part was the phone bill wasn't in my name, it was in my friend's name.
No.
So the phone was £500. I was like, damn, but she left me, man. She was mad forever.
Oh, man.
They cut the phones.
You didn't pay it?
Of course I paid it. But I had to pay it across a period.
Oh, you had to say, I could put some on it. I could put some on it.
They said take a post-dated check. I had to hustle, I had to hustle in the streets,
Wow.
I'm joking. I didn't say anything. I was working in it, so my salary came and I just paid.
I don't think I've had one of those heartbreaks.
The problem it was free after, you get free calls in that time was free after 7 type vibe or free before 3 o'clock. You was having drama during the daytime.
No, daytime drama when there's
Daytime
3 minutes at night.
Yeah.
That's the maddest breakup I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It was that bad she couldn't put it off till after 7.
No, man, I was an emotional person, man.
Man,
It was real shit. It
bro,
wasn't real shit.
those emotions cost you £500, bro.
We've all done things that cost us money.
Yeah, but come on, man, 500 over a girl you still ended up breaking up with.
It was not necessarily. I wasn't thinking of. I have a credit limit to how much of. We're going to discuss this to you. You know what? I'm going to leave you right now because I don't spend £20 on the phone bill. So you go ahead and I'll call you after 7. It wasn't like that. You're making phone calls.
That's wild. I didn't even know you could run up that much. God,
Well, you know what? Charges were expensive them times, man. Because phones were new, innit? So that's
was it on them one-to-one joints with the aerial and the.
Well, it was more than Nokia 3250.
Oh,
one of them ones.
Okay, my goodness, that's the matter.
I'd rather that than the landline because my dad would have killed me.
Nah, bro. Either way, bro, you should kill yourself over that one, bro. £500. Bro, that's painful, man. That's hurting me, and I didn't even pay nothing.
Them times you don't think, innit?
For real, I hear you, man.
You just think.
Yeah, to be young and in love, bro.
Not even just young and in love. To be young, bro. Not even just like the decisions you make. Having 2 phones, or just spending £150 on jeans.
Yeah, I never did these things though.
Right. So
I can't relate.
Phone bill, you don't understand. I had friends who would cut off 4 or 5 lines. They don't take a phone bill out in their cat's name, bro. Their cat got good credit. Felix.
You have reached the voicemail of Fluffy.
Because we were wild, like we were just doing a madness. People buying £100 jeans, £100 trainers, Evisu jackets and shit just to go raving.
I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why we're friends. So I can listen to your wild stories and think about what my life would have been like if I wasn't so restrained. I must have been an old ass. Your wild stories. Nah, but
you went to the chess club, dog. Wild in my world.
To be honest, there's some stories of mine that one could describe as wild, but like my wild stories are like, I don't know, they're nothing compared to the stuff that I'm hearing from you. Like, I've never run up a 500. Like, I just would never give myself that much leeway to just run up a £500 bill and be like, yeah, well, forget the bill. I need to talk to this person. Nah, man, I was calculating every angle. What do you mean?
Bro, we was in the streets.
I was paying £150 for one pair.
I'm not actually a road person. I was just around people in an estate community environment.
Yeah.
And so there was not a lot of restrictions in terms of behavior patterns.
Okay.
And so, and here's the thing, I knew where to draw the line, but I knew when it was like, one time we went to, we just left college on a leave college type thing. And this is like 20 black boys, right? So already we're suspicious. I never looked, sorry, I always saw how it looked. Now, a couple of my friends were pretty boys. The rest were just, people from homes with no fathers in them. I don't know how else to describe these kids, but they were not going anywhere fast. Anyway, but they were good kids though. They just had too much freedom. I didn't have the freedom. I knew my dad got home from 7, so by 6 I'm at yard. But this was like 4 or 5, where college is done, but we're just roaming the streets, which is where trouble is caused.
Of course.
So we get to the train station, yeah. We come off the train station. We go outside. All of a sudden, someone decides, no, come and go back. And then everybody just turned around and followed suit. Now, here's the thing. None of them had train tickets, right?
Yeah.
So you can imagine this stampede of people running into the station, jumping over the train barriers. It's looking wild. Now, I had the valid zone 1 and 2. Okay? I didn't
Five
see the
man
point.
films.
I didn't see the point in run. First of all, I didn't condone the behavior. It looked, white people were shocked. I was like, oh, this is not good. I took a good 3 minutes before I even followed through. And then I just put my ticket through because why am I going to jump a barrier? You know? But I have been in that position where, you know, when the person you ticket through the barrier and they just walk through with you.
Yeah.
I've done that. You know, I've done the whole bump the train thing where you give the fake address. I've been there, done that. One time, the guy I was giving him mad postcodes. Come on, man, you're taking the piss. What? Which one did I give you last? He said, and I told him my name's Trevor, Ian, Thomas, just whatever comes to mind. One time he told me to repeat the name. I said, what did you give me? Tea? Oh, hey, blood, I've been on the bus when mans have come on and said, hey, what ends you from? Like, really, nigga? Like, and I was like, oh, from Tottenham. I said, I'm from Hackney, East London. I don't know why I would tell someone from Tottenham I'm from Hackney. I don't know why I would tell him that. But I thought, you know what? Honesty is the best policy, right? He goes, what are you doing around here, cuz? My girlfriend was from Tottenham.
Yeah.
Right? So I said, I'm going to see my girl. I think, again, how would you tell someone you're going to see a girl in his neighborhood?
No way. First he's going to ask you, who's your girl?
So you can't help us. So he asked me who my girl was.
Yeah.
So I told him the name. But he knew who she was because her brother is crazy.
Okay.
Ooh, I can't even tell you who, because you actually know who the person is. Yeah.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah. It's her sister.
Okay.
It's not crazy, but he had respect on the streets. Put it
okay. Then we're there.
But I said the name, he said, well, you have a good day, sir. That name was Protection.
Bruh, there was one time some boys tried to move to me on the bus. I don't know where I got the boldness from, bro. This guy came to me and said, "All right, what you got for me, bro?" I said, I don't know you. He said, what are you talking about? What's this nigga talking about? He said to his boys, what's this nigga talking about? Hey, do you got no money on you or nothing? I said, why are you broke? And his boys just went, loud it, and they just stopped off the bus. I was like, that's the biggest gamble I've ever taken in my life. I don't know where I got that bonus from. I don't know how it hit me.
But if you're a goon and you took that personal, you're a pussy, okay? Because you should be like, hey, you know what? Respect, big man. No one's ever come at me like that. Respect. He said, why are you broke? Because you can't, your next move has to be calculated. You can't be like, no, okay. So what do you need the money for? Exactly. Oh, I'm just a thief. You know what I mean? And then you can't be like, oh, you broke, yeah. That's not really goonish.
Exactly.
So that's you know. My friend one time, he was on the bus.
I don't recommend everybody try that, by the way.
No, don't do that. So please, I don't know how to do so doing it today, but my friend was on the bus and he said they came up to him and they're like, "What ends you from?" That's the postcode check. And he told them because he was from North, and so they had a little gathering and they're like, "Who are you here to see?" And he said he was going to check his boy. He said the name. I guess the name didn't ring any bells. They went off, did a credit check on that nigga. He ain't from the streets. They came back to him and said, "Hey, what you trying shit for, blood?" And he was like, "You might want to go now." They're like, "What?" He said, "You want to go? Come off the bus." And they let him get off the bus. He said, as soon as he got off, he took off running.
10 toes, bro. 10 toes.
Because the thing about this is what people don't realize. When you're, this is disrespectful, but Goonies, they're not the sharpest people in the world.
Not at all.
And they let their bravado and their eagerness to fight get the better of them. So when you think and just talk to them,
yeah,
they'd rather back up than feel insulted.
Yeah.
So when he said to them, "You might want to go now," they're like, "What? Come and get off the bus." They're like, "Oh, wow, space. There's going to be more room, and we're going to be able to really jump him, and we're going to really give him a beat." Not thinking this thing's going to run. You know.
I love the fact that they went to go do that hood credit check on a man's name, like the police. You know when the police take your license, go back to the car, go and run it.
They go in the car, and then you got warrants. Bro, they went gathered and said, "Man, said Simon, I don't know the Simon, you know. Come and rub this brother." All right, cool. Because if you go south, back then, if you went south and you're not from South London, because you know everyone from South London is related. So if you went there, as soon as you walked in, their phones would ping that there's a foreigner in their midst. And so, you know, people would come up to you like, well, you're not from these ends. Well, so can I go to Sainsbury's, please? And, you know, when my boy going to beef with people from South, he got the drop on them the first time. So they outnumbered them, which is very rare in South stories. Yeah. And so he was cocky with it. You might come next week, we'll get it on, bring your boy, I'll mash him up too. They're like, all right, cool. And they bounced. He came to college, he was champion of the week. All right. On Friday, he goes, Suli, you're gonna come on Sunday. I said, for what? Y'all got a new evening service? Because what is going on Sunday? He said, you know, them South boys do this is me, bro. You had a good one last week. Take your W and leave it alone. No, I'm going down there with my cousin, blah, 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 blah. All right. I'll see you in college. Bruv, Sunday evening, I get the phone call, he's in hospital.
You see?
Them South niggas when they got so solid.
And that's what I'm saying, man. They're gonna go show his ass the whole flipping so solid crew, man.
They showed him everybody, even Lisa Mafia showed up to that motherfucker.
They came with the so solid kids, bro.
Bro, they came with 30 deep. They came with they even came with the merch, had the t-shirts on.
They came with that little kid that does the what you laughing at?
They came with dogs. And they beat him up here. And they even said to my boy who was with him, they said to him, take your boy to the hospital. We're not even gonna do, we just wanted to mash him up, let him know. Take him to the hospital. And they took him to the hospital.
Wow.
And then he came to college because, you know, his pride was hurt. You know, you go from King 1 week, now we're like, damn, nigga, you're in the hospital, nigga? What's the food like? So he was kind of, I don't know, disturbed by that.
Man had his 21 seconds of fame, bro.
Right. And so, you know, he came to college with a sword.
Whoa, brother.
Like this big, like really, like at least 10 inches.
Man.
And he went and got this sword, and he put it in a bag, you know, them JD bags that you put when you get the trainers. Yeah. And he's walking around paranoid. Obviously, he's still a bit bruised in that. So I sit him down and I said to him, bro, we go to club and check girls, you know, Dirty Wine comes on, you get a nice little wine, maybe you get a phone number, and that's what we do. You're gonna get yourself killed. Bro, take your beatings, they took you to the hospital, heal, and don't be that guy no more.
Yeah.
And thank God he listened, you know, because it was pride that was fucking with him. I think he was a bit paranoid. Listen, no one's gonna come from South London to North London to look for you. You're not even special.
Yeah.
You just ran your mouth.
You know what the thing is? What's mad about it is that there are some people who are just bad breed. You could drop them anywhere. You could drop them in the French countryside, and they will find
they're gonna run the followers.
They're gonna be on something. But most of the people, it's just caught up in an environment that seems to make it okay. And you know, like there's a part of me that just was like, I remember thinking at one point, like, imagine if you could put together a program that just takes road guys on holiday, just to get them somewhere that's completely different from their normal surroundings, and just see how they operate. See how you operate. But that's the thing. I don't think they always would.
They would.
I feel like if you put man in flipping in Dubai or something like that, it's not gonna really start.
Did they at least get robbed in Dubai? Man, them left London to go and buck him in Dubai.
Okay. I don't mean that kind of holiday. I mean like by themselves. Like you take
they went on holiday. I've been on holiday where I've seen roadmen and they're being roadmen, barging in the club.
No, because they're still basically, as far as they're concerned, that's still London. If I'm London, you're London, I meet you in Dubai. This is London. I'm talking about like take them out of their element. Go stay in a house in Malaysia. You know what I'm saying? Like go flipping sit in a cottage in the outbacks of Australia and like interact with the people there. Will you still be bad? Or is it only when you see a certain environment with certain people that you behave that way? I really believe that there's an element of that.
But just because you're a roadman doesn't mean you can't be courteous. Doesn't mean you can't be respectful.
I agree.
Doesn't mean you can't be pleasant.
I agree.
The element comes from being in situations where there's beef or there's trouble.
That's the point I'm making.
Which is sorry?
That's the point I'm making. That if you keep someone in that environment, there are certain people who are only that way because they're in that environment. There are some people who are just that way, and there's some people that I think the majority are not really that way. They're just in an environment that encourages them to be that way. And that if they had a chance, if let's say, just by luck or chance, one of them got a job on a cruise ship, I don't really believe that he'd be on badness every single day. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. We didn't have no Tupac quote last week. You got Tupac quote.
Damn. I mean, that was a weird segue, but I'm just thinking about it, thinking, well, I don't think Pac was a Pyru mob person.
Yeah.
But around Sugar and that, don't get it twisted though. Like Pac was around street people from the time he was 17, right?
Yeah.
So fighting in the clubs, getting into street stuff was what he was doing. You understand?
Yeah.
But then you multiply that by having multi-millions and being around a crew who seem to be hard as shit, it's gonna, double it down even more.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I guess that's what the whole rose that grew out of concrete concept is about. Yeah. It's about the fact that, sort of not necessarily sort of breaking through a very tough surrounding, a very tough environment, and still managing to be somewhat sensitive and delicate in some way. I think there's definitely something in him that was very introspective and very delicate and very human and very fragile. And we got to see that in some songs. And I think, if Pac was in the south of France, he would just be a human being enjoying cheese and wine, you know what I'm saying? And then put him back in LA.
We're saying we're victims of our circumstances, of our environments.
I'm saying the majority of us. I think there are some people who, wherever you put them, they're just on badness. They're just on badness. If you put them in that south of France, they're robbing cheese, bro. They're robbing cheese for the sake of it, man. Hey, give me that Gouda right there, man. How's man gonna walk off with the Gouda when I want the Gouda and take the Gouda off somebody? That's just who they are. Like.
When I saw the kids, you grew up with these kids in your estate you play football with, or you kick on the way to school and stuff like that. No, you can already tell. You can already tell the ones that are gonna go left quick. You can just already tell. They're not engaged in terms of school wise. They don't know how to communicate when they see elders. And so it's just like, oh man, he about to rob a bookie one day. And they go to prison quickly. Like, youth, but then youth center doesn't become prison, it becomes cool. Because when you come home from prison on the block, bro, it's like you came home from graduation. Nigga been there 4 years. Man, it's good to have you home. It's like you graduated. And so it's a conditioning because people label it as black. It's not black. It's literally an environment. Yeah. It's literally a space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That develops this, and we're so close to it. You're literally go to church on Sunday and could get stabbed by Thursday.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Should have been a Bible study.
Right. But you could get but man them go church.
Yeah, I know.
KCC used to have this thing called I can't remember what it was called. But it was like a youth club, bro. And church girls were buff.
What, Festival of Life?
Not Festival of Life, that's Redeemed. But
that's Redeemed, okay, yeah.
Thingy had Gathering of Champions, but they had this youth service for us, TNT. It was called TNT.
Okay.
Everybody was going there. There was bare buff girls there. We went because my brother was like, hey, there's girls there. They don't even go to church. I go to church. On Sunday, I used to go deep. But the thing is, the church girls, what kind of guys do you think they liked?
Of course, bro. We know. They wanted the
Goody goods. I'm out here trying to preach the gospel to you, baby. God said in Galatians 5 verse 4. Not gonna be.
They don't want to hear that. Do you know how many times I heard church girls say to me, like, I just want like a reformed hood guy, like I want a guy that then killed somebody, then turned to the Lord, and like banged out a gang of chicks, but now only wants me. Like, I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, I don't. What?
Yeah, but like, what do you mean?
Exactly. Like, I really had this conversation with a church sister once, and she was like, basically, the way she saw it is, if she's gonna save herself and blah blah blah, she doesn't want to be with a guy who's also like never had sex before. So he needs to go and have had some experience, turn his life around,
And
give
blow
his
her
life
back
to
out.
Christ, and then like now he can like give her blow her back out in a holy way when they get married. All of a sudden, he's gonna go from the roads. He's gonna do a complete 180 and now just go straight to the church. But he's still gonna retain some of those good elements that make a pump single. But at the same time, he's not gonna be on badness because he's gonna love her.
It's crazy,
Like,
isn't it? And people
like,
wonder why relationships don't work.
Bruh, like what's going on here? What's going on? And that's why you see guys in church. There's some guys that's who they are, right? If you're a church guy, you're a church guy. And then you'll see church guys that literally are looking and just going, do you know what? It just does not pay. And so they're trying to be where it pays. And where it pays is
I
the
saw
road.
a girl on Snapchat. She posted the other day. She posted these. She's one of these people who she doesn't want a man. She wants attention.
Of course. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She doesn't want a man. She wants attention.
You ain't even have to explain that too much, bro. We know exactly what's up.
So, and so her snaps are, seductive and, whatever. But
and that's
then,
why you follow her.
The occasional, no, I did a show with her many moons back where they wanted, it was Kojo's show for ITV. No, it was ITV actually. And Kojo was hosting. And they wanted us to walk on stage with these two buff models as we go on stage, to which I objected. I said, I'm not a pimp. I'm a stand-up comic. I don't need two buff girls to let the audience know I'm funny. I can handle it with the mic. They would take offense to it, but I had to explain to them that I don't need to subjugate you to sex symbols. What do you think? I'm a comedian, not a pimp. Like, why is it when black people are doing comedy, you see Michael McIntyre come out with bitches on the stage? I was really in my feelings. I was like, you see Russell come out and then two white girls start twerking? Fuck out of here. So,
hasn't someone come on with a guy before though?
But that's because they're trying to do feminism and, ladies can have men too. So they get, they get henchmen to carry them and stuff like that. And you can do that on your one-man show, that's cool. But this was for ITV Hub. This was for ITV.
I'm pimping over on ITV Hub.
And the thing is this year, ITV is not a black audience. Don't get it twisted. When we say we want these shows on these platforms, you have to understand who's watching them.
Yeah.
Right? So when they're watching us, what's the expression they're gonna have? Black people come out with bitches. And so then when white people see black girls and say, what's up, bitches? Who the hell you think you're talking to? You didn't marry for me, bro, you out. You understand what I'm saying? So I was thinking more like, this was
you're ahead of your time, bro. You're ahead of your time.
You're the one that said to me, when you come out on stage, how do you want people to perceive you? If I'm walking into, and then one of the girls on my arm, like I just smashed in the toilet. And then I come on stage and talk about Brexit. They were like, this Brexit? I thought I was going to talk about pussy. I went so deep into just that moment. But yeah, so, she was cool after me, when I spoke to them about, it's no disrespect to you, I think you're both beautiful women. And it's not that, they didn't want to even hear they were beautiful. The titties was out, whatever. I'm not mad at that. Get your titties out, girl, I'm here for it. But what I'm saying is, I don't need that for my comedy. So anyway, but we followed each other on Snapchat, whatever, for a while. I don't really talk to her. I just look at her posts because I find them hilarious.
Okay.
And she, she's a singer as well. Like, singer. I say singer with, the same way I'm an NBA star. And, she just basically posts these random things. So on the weekend she posted, I finally got to tell a guy who I had a crush on that I finally found out that a guy who I had a crush on actually fancies me, but nothing can happen because he has a girl. Right? The next post was, but I got to tell him all the naughty fantasies I've had about him in my head. And then she goes on to explain what the naughty fantasies were or whatever. But shame he can't go nowhere because he's not single. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking, you know what? I could go into this and think about it and, or I could just literally go on with my day. And then the next thing was, so she said, I told him I wanted to fuck him here or this, and that. And so I guess the messages that followed from her followers were, I would do this, I will do that, which is what she wanted, right?
Of course.
And so her next post is, I can get dick from anywhere I want, but I'd rather it come from my king. Already, I started laughing. And she said, I already would come from my king, who would look after me, take care of me, not give, not be one other bitches. And she wrote, this is what the one that caught me the most: love me more than I love him. And I thought to myself, that's another one. Love me more than I love him. And I was like, who the fuck are you? And then she wrote, this was the best part, so hard to find. I wrote, because the motherfucker doesn't exist. Allah, you can't make this up. She said, so hard to find. I was like, poor you, girl. Poor you. Here you are with all the goods. And that's too much to ask.
She lost to the system, bro.
And that's the world we live in, bro. That's the world we're in. Look at what she posted. Loves me more than him.
First of all, yeah, can we just address the fact that if you find that someone's got a partner, like, if you're gonna truly be respectful that you're claiming to be, you ain't supposed to be telling them sexual fantasies. You're supposed to talk to someone's boyfriend on the phone, like, this is what I do to you.
But what she wants is that.
Bro, let me land on this one because because this one hurts me genuinely, like a married man. As a married man, this one hurts me. I've had a friend make these. She was making it like it was jokes though, but the jokes kept going on too much, and I'm like, it's really unfair. You don't know what you're doing because you get to do kiki, you get to make these comments and then skip off into the sunset.
Just put it on you in a subtle way.
No, this one, like, well, in my situation, it was a friend. She kept making these jokes. She kept trying to let me know, like, and I'll be like, hey, don't play with me like this. And she's like, I'm not. And I was married. And she'd be like, I'm not playing. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? But then she'd be like, relax, man. What's your problem? I'm like, what do you mean? What's my problem? Stop giving.
You couldn't slide the number, no?
Bro, relax, man. Stop giving married guys and guys in relationships unnecessary turmoil and hope. Do you know why I say hope? Because guys start really believing that, my stock's still high in these streets. And guys start in their head, next argument they have with their girl, they're looking at their girl thinking, hey, and there's girls that wanna fillet me in these streets, and you're here arguing with me? And then they're not able to relate with their partner in the same way because they got that in the back of their head. Stop doing that to guys, man. Stop doing that. To married men, guys in relationships.
Any guy that has a woman who he is doing these kiki kakaka with, you're joining just as much as she is. You shouldn't even have a woman like that in your life. Period.
Yeah, this friend of mine had to cut her off.
You have to. You shouldn't have a person like that in your life because she's not cool.
Yeah, and I had to cut that.
But some men like that shit. Some men entertain that shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course. But stop doing it though. Stop doing it.
No, that's not a thing though. You can't tell people to stop doing it. You cannot.
Yeah, I can.
No, you can't. We're not kids.
We're not kids.
Man. It's like saying, don't do drugs. Like, shut the fuck up, man. Like nobody listens to that. Stop doing that. Like we're gonna be like, okay, we now stop. That's not. Hey, let me tell you something. Yeah, as sure as the sun will shine, men are gonna cheat on their wives are gonna cheat on their husbands, and people are gonna get married and divorced. As sure as the sun will shine, promise you that. Niggas is gonna be flirting with girls while they are married. I know some reckless stories out here. My friend's ex-husband now took a woman on holiday with him. Swindled her about some business trip thing. took a girl on holiday, but she already knew of the girl. Or when she was doing her, women are investigators. When the woman wants to catch you, you done. I know the person that brought all the files for R. Kelly were women, because there's no way, men are not that thorough. They found a bitch that was living in Kenya. Do you want to come and testify? This nigga froze.
You know, I'm not frozen. I'm in shock. This brother took her
But
on
this is how
holiday.
she found out that he took the girl on holiday. She took a picture of herself, but on her phone, she could see the reflection and she could see his phone in the shot. Because you know why, yeah? It's like when you commit a murder, God leaves clues. So when you cheat, one time, one of my friends who cheated, yeah, he had his name, his phone bill was in his girl's name, because women are like that. They take out a phone for you back then because they love you, they give like that. So how are you gonna be cheating when she gets the bill? And it wasn't even, it was one of them ones where, you know, he tried to get ahead of the game and cut it off, but she suspected that. What's wrong? So she goes to the phone bills. Women are detectives, bro. She goes to the phone bills, starts looking at numbers that repeated themselves and calls the phone number. That's game right there. One of my friends, her man was acting flaky, and then he broke up with her randomly. And she thought this guy was cheating. I know he was. She said, let me hack into his Facebook. She types in his email address. She gets to the big old password. She just sits there and looks at everything. I bet it's Arsenal. Types in Arsenal.
No way, brother.
If you're cheating, sort the password game. Because she knew he loved Arsenal.
Man didn't even put no special characters in there.
Not even the first time they won the league type shit.
Yeah, like make it deeper than
hard. But he typed Arsenal. She goes into the, where does she go first? The good old DMs. Oh, the DMs be telling. And that's how she found out, man. So it's just the game in this world, man. There's people that foul, like you said. There's just people that are on bad. They're just like that.
It's a dirty game, yo.
It's a dirty game, yo.
My goodness. I swear we say that like every episode because it's so real, bro. It's so real.
R. Kelly's gonna sing on people. This is me. Who sings after you get convicted? Who does that? what kind of bargaining chips are those? If you had some shit, you bring that before trial.
Nah, but that's if you're gonna plead guilty, though.
Even if he sings, he's plead guilty.
Even if what, sorry?
If he sings on who, if he says this person's involved or whatever, you're just a convicted thingy. And then what if he sings on saying these people's involved, then he's saying he's involved too.
Well, yeah, but now he's already been convicted, so
doesn't mean he's guilty. Doesn't mean he's found guilty. He said he's been found guilty, but he said he didn't do it. If you're gonna sing on people, then you're saying he's not saying he did it. He's not taking accountability for this.
Well, of course not. But now I don't think the aim is to take accountability. I think the aim is to reduce that 100-year sentence or whatever.
But if you do, you have to take accountability, which he's not doing. Do you get what I mean? He has to now say, yes, I did do these things with these people. But his stance is, I didn't do any of this.
Well, it depends what he's going to sing on. Maybe he's going to say, look, you know, I was at the party and Jay-Z was lipsing the girl first. And
that's hearsay.
I didn't do it, you know.
That's
bruh,
that's not going to bring Jay-Z into court. You think I could do that? You know, I was in the shed while they were doing it. Hey, that's not going to bring him into court.
Maybe he's thrown parties that he's recorded secretly, you know. He's got footage like Epstein.
Of course. This nigga ain't got nothing. He ain't got nothing but time. That's all he's got.
Do you know how I know he hasn't got secret videos? Because of the way he set up the camera on the first
right. Another thing is, yeah. And another thing is this is what gets me though. They're saying he's a leader of a racket or stuff like that. But the nigga can't read or write, right? Number one. Okay. So how did he beat the leaders? Like surely there was a vote. Second, hey, he's a busy man, bro. Because this nigga's putting out albums. How you running a sex ring and going studio, going to the Grammys? This nigga on tour. God, what a busy guy.
And he's still writing.
And plus, also the memes going around. R. Kelly's gonna get raped in jail. I really think people be disrespecting jail life. Like People in jail was like, yo, ain't even like that, yo. Like, we ain't just a bunch of rapists in here waiting for the new inmates to come in. You know what I mean? And also, you know, don't drop the soap. You're in the shower, okay, with naked men. Showers, your body's watering, you're rubbing up soap, you're glistening, anything, nothing happens. Everyone's just getting on with their day. But the moment the soap slips out your hand, all hell breaks loose. I don't get it.
Man.
Don't drop the soap. But as if holding onto the soap is going to prevent these goony goons from just holding you down to the wall. I still got the soap in my hand, dog.
I saw one where the man was close up on R. Kelly and was like, you better lift up that toot so I can give you that beat.
Yeah. But what I realized as well is
People are wrong.
When you commit a crime against women or children, anything like that, you are free game.
Yeah, pretty much.
They can bring your mama into this. Nobody's gonna shit their tail for you.
No, you're right.
You are free game. R. Kelly, there's no respect for him anymore.
Nah.
But if he puts out an album in prison, I'm gonna listen, man.
Bro, if you know what, yeah, let's not lie. What you should do, almost as an experiment, he should put out an album and like just watch the views, just watch like, how many people spin it. Like that, I think is a great experiment because I think the numbers would be greater than those who outwardly support him. Those who outwardly support him would obviously listen to it, but some of the people condemning him would also still listen to it. And
those are the people that are going to listen to it most.
Of course.
I said to my brother, I said, R. Kelly wrote for everybody in the 90s. He wrote for everybody. Not one character witness showed up to court.
Bro, if I
Allah, not even genuine, Nick. Even genuine said,
you know you ain't right. You know you ain't right, bro.
R. Kelly was on the phone like, we can't get genuine, Nick. I wrote his first song, man. Ain't that a bitch? R. Kelly wrote for everybody. Not one of them showed up.
But to be honest, man, if you were hanging with R. Kelly in the 90s, would you ever bear witness to his character? Hell no.
It's not even that. It's just whether you bear witness or not, you ain't going to, I ain't showing up to support. Even Michael Jackson had Chris Tucker. R. Kelly had no one even tweeted. Usually you get a couple radical tweeters, you know them niggas. No one even did that.
Man. Oh, snap.
That's crazy.
That's wild, man.
Like not even not a Tyrese or a Tank. They all took his style. Not a Trey Songs. Damn. I bet the neighbors know my name.
Man.
People are saying he's gonna commit suicide. I'm like, I don't think he's suicidal.
I think he's gonna put out a remix of Keith Sweat. Nobody who came out to support me. Nobody.
Nah, if I can puts out a song from jail, everybody listening.
Bruh,
I said if they give him life,
the jail mixtape, bro.
I said if they give him life, Casey and George should sing The Verdict.
Nah, let's not lie, man. We bumping that jail mixtape. It doesn't mean we condone what he did, but yo.
What if he's like featuring like prisoners with talent, like you know, like get a couple extra.
Yeah. You said that last week, man. If he starts putting the real jailbirds on, like the real talented ones, like yo,
he would be in parole in 2 weeks. Y'all support him when he come out. Oh, imagine coming out saying I was signed by R. Kelly by who? As soon as you get to the outside world, you can't mention him no more. So how did you get the talent? Oh, I've been on. I was working hard. Oh yeah, so we need to put a two-part quote in it. What have we spoken about today? Stand up, knowing who you are.
The rose that grew from concrete.
No, I'm talking about our topics.
Yeah, as in like guys growing up in the environment, victims of the environment.
And also that moment where you walk away from when you say, you know what, that's not me.
Yes. Yeah, I guess Tupac probably had to do that at some point. maybe right
Well,
around the time he was.
He says a line where he says, you know, niggas, spot where we can kick it, a spot where we can just, you know, reside and smoke weed. Niggas ain't gotta wake up and be Hollywood.
Niggas ain't gotta wake up and be Hollywood.
Hollywood, you know, because sometimes you have to be Hollywood, innit? Like he's not the Tupac that we saw on cameras and that is that's Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta smile, you gotta sign autographs, you gotta be hey. But sometimes you don't want to be that person, you know. You want to be who you
are. Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, I never feel for celebrities when they say, you know, sometimes, you know, I just want to get away from it all. Then fuck off then, innit?
I mean, wasn't he smashing Madonna?
Hey, if I tell you he smashed Hillary from Fresh Prince.
He said what was that?
He smashed Hillary from Fresh Prince. Hey, by the way, allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, but yeah, I've seen a couple stories that Park was
Hillary Banks. Hey.
Look at his mouth. Look at his mouth.
Park,
yeah, man.
Park was a lion when he was on that I Get Around.
You know what? You know the maddest thing? He never spoke about celebrities. So I just assumed it was, you know, girls from the club and stuff. Because he never mentioned the celebrities. But he was doing a lot. Puffy's baby mom. Yeah. There's a picture of him on her chest. It was the West Side Side in Hawaii.
And he definitely did sleep with Faith.
Yeah. According to, when you listen to all the stories and you put them all together, like there's cats that were like, yo, I was there. Yuckmouth. Was it Yuckmouth? Yeah, Yuckmouth from the Loonies, I think. He said he was at the hotel. He had these two Italian girls with him. And Park was trying to, but they weren't on it. And then he said, I got backup coming anyway. And so he was like, what you talking about? So he said they was in his hotel room. He said, come and check me later. He said, he came to check Park. Door knocked on the door. He said, Park jumped up and ran to the door. So he said, I never seen a nigga so excited in my life. So he opens the door. Faith Evans comes in. She's all blacked out, hoodie on. And by the way, I don't think it was just once, you know. I think it was a couple times still. Yeah, I don't think it was just once. But because and she bought him jewelry, she bought him clothes and stuff like that. You know.
It's a dirty game, y'all.
You know, I think he had a thing for Left Eye. I know Left Eye, Mary J, Kidada Jones, girl from Fresh Prince, and who else? Oh, did you used to watch A Different World?
Yes.
Jasmine Guy.
Whitley.
Yeah. By the way, Jasmine Guy and Whitley, two different people. She's older than Park as well. But guess where he met her?
On the set, right?
Imagine that. And guess who his girl is?
What,
Jada.
Yeah. Jada was on the
set. So he met her on the set. So when Tupac got shot in New York, he went into hiding. He left the hospital immediately because he was paranoid. He was staying at Jasmine Guy's house.
Whoa. This brother here.
Yep. But you know, he's very respectful of her though. He never really spoke about that. And he locked off Madonna because he was like, his people won't go for it. Yeah, man.
Wow. All right.
And by the way, those are celebrities we're talking about. We ain't talking about Milwaukee.
Of course.
We ain't even talking about Milwaukee. You know, so yeah, he was very, the How Do You Want It video. You know the porn star in it, what's her name? Janet Jackme? No, not Janet Jackme.
Janet Jackme.
No, what's her name? Buff porn star.
I don't know who was in it, but I know Janet Jackme is.
You know Janet, I know you know Janet Jackme, bitch ass nigga. I'm gonna check it now.
Hey.
so funny, yeah, because uh,
Bruh.
but Nina Hartley was in it.
Oh, Nina Hartley was in it.
Yeah,
Man,
she said
I don't remember.
not Nina, Heather Hunter.
Devon, whoa, what's going
You know
on?
Heather Hunter.
I mean, no, I don't know Devon Hunter. What do you mean? Who's Devon Hunter?
Oh, you know what? You know what? She's old school in it, so you know sometimes those '90s ones you're just like, you know what? I need HD in my life, dog. So you know, I don't really go to her. She's not a go-to person, but she's a beautiful woman. And so she was in. He said Tupac asked her to come to LA to come in because she had left LA. He said she told her to come back to bring. He wants in a video. And so Vlad was like, "Were you, you know, sexually thingy with Pac?" And she was like, "We were everything." And she started crying. You know, she said we were just, you know, he was just so it was not so don't, what I'm trying to say, I'll say that to say it's not like he was just, you know, out here, you know, holler if you hear me. I think he had genuine connections with a lot of these women. And some of them was just, you know, passed by the night. But the ones I've mentioned, there was genuine connections involved.
Wow.
Why is your mouth open now, bro?
What oh my goodness, just there's too much. It's too much.
He lived a busy life, man. Even the book, when I read his book, the Bodyguard's book, because when Tupac died, everybody had a book. My Life with Pac, my Ride With Me, the day I took Pac to the shops. Everybody was making money off that name. Everybody. So he wrote a book called Got Your Back. It was a decent book. Sorry. And he spoke about their time in Italy. And he said they went to a show. Tupac was dating Quincy Jones' daughter, so she went to Italy with him. And he said they went to a show. You know, have you seen the pictures where he's modeling and he's got the suit on and stuff like that?
Okay, yeah.
It was in Italy for Versace's party. They called him. They wanted him to wear their clothes, which is a big look.
Yeah.
Then Versace parties, Allah. He said the security guard was like, these girls were just eyeing Pac the whole time. Both of them come over, whisper in Bodyguard's ear. So I'll let Pac know. He said, he hollers at Pac, all right, cool, when we're leaving. He said, you know, they get in the back, he's driving. He said, all he's hearing is just a madness. Quick threesome. And the thing is, yeah, they were both Italian, yeah, and he said they're like, Tupac is a rap star from America. They were probably thinking, this here buffet.
Oh, wow.
I know, man. So when you read about, and this is like a rock star's lifestyle, right? Like, you know, like I'm watching Tyson Bedford, and you hear these people's stories, you know, Rodman, who left the whole team practice so he could get his freak on in Vegas.
Yeah.
This is their life, you know, their life is a roller coaster. You know, when you're like at the top of your game, everybody wants, and you know the maddest thing, part of it, because he wrote a letter to Sister Soldier, and she was telling him to control his, you know, his desires. Because he was open to her about how, you know, the women in his life, and she was like trying to, you know, because I heard a quote from a woman that a man who can't control his sexual desires will I can't remember what it was, but basically, if you can't control, you might fall.
Oh yeah, you definitely will.
And I had to agree in the sense where, but then she said you can't be a powerful man. Yeah, a man who can't control his sexual desires can't be a powerful man. I said, I don't know, you know, Bill Clinton kind of powerful. But I understand what she means.
To be fair, like Bill Clinton, the fact that we heard about this one person, like to me, shows that even though we're judging him from the position of his failure, he probably still has way more control than some of the people who would have had, of what most people, or what a lot of guys would have done if they had the positions he had.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the fact that, like, if somebody,
no control.
He must have had some control because he had time to flip and run for office.
He had no control. The first time he went into run from governor, they actually showed them a list of women that will come forward. They were like, you know this woman? I did her in the camping chair. They showed him a list of women that they had to shut up because it will come out. But he bangs an intern in every single campaign trail. Like he has actually, he's actually he's a pest.
I take my point back.
Like, just has to have it in it.
Because the thing
is, what are you talking about?
My thinking was, right, that when a powerful man cheats and we find out about it, right, it's very easy to contextualize them based on what we just found out. But we don't know all the times that they had to turn it down. So if a man turns down some pumps 500 times and then cheats once, I'm not saying this guy's cheated once, but let's say he turns it down 500 times, cheats once, we'll contextualize his whole life over the fact that he cheated one time. Whereas he could have actually turned it down 500 times beforehand, whereas most guys would have just had sex 500 times. So that's what I'm saying, that like sometimes we can't really judge from the outside, but from what you're telling me now, we might as well judge from the outside, bro.
The truth is, we shouldn't be judging at all. What's his name? Dave Chappelle said a great line today. He said, apparently they dragged me on Twitter, but I don't give a fuck because Twitter's not a real place. I was just like, this guy's a genius. The way he says, I don't give a fuck because Twitter's not a real place. Can you imagine Bill Clinton taking interest in the people tweeting, how could you cheat on your wife? Suck my dick. Who are you with your 7 followers?
Bruh.
You know? So more time we get involved in things that have nothing to do with us.
Facts. We need to wrap this up, man. I need to roll.
Okay, so yeah. Remember, what was the quote?
The quote, a place where we ain't gotta be Hollywood, right?
We ain't just gonna be Hollywood.
Niggas ain't gonna be Hollywood. I like that.
We ain't gonna be Hollywood, man.
We ain't got to be Hollywood. I like that. I really do like that, man. Yo, guys, like I said before, thank you for the love and support. Please make sure that you are following us on socials and you're interacting with us. It's at Fumbi on Twitter, at Fumbi on Mataya on Instagram, and at olathecomedian on everything, because that's our neighborhood. All right.
It's on Crip.
That's my guy. So, guys, hit us up. Thanks for being part of the BQ squad, listening to the BQ pod. Peace.